Hey, what's going on, everybody? As always, it's your boy, your guy, your resident coffee ninja by day, actor, gamer, streamer by night, Ryu, back once again, aka Ryuzaki MK7. I'm back with more Fate Grand Order Lostbelt 3! Last time on Lostbelt 3, wow, we got a atom bomb dropped on us. Freaking Akuta Hinako was... She went Tsukihime on us. Jeez Louise, she a vampire woman. Let's go, YouTube. And as you guys can see, I got my chat room with me tonight, as always. I record this live on my Twitch at twitch.tv/RyuzakiMK7. Go over there, follow me, subscribe, all that good stuff. Have a good night, Matoy. Thanks for stopping by. She's a vamp. And of course, my chat room's trying to loot me again. Why you always have to loot me, chat room? Why? But anyway, we're gonna get the hammer of justice thrown down on us. Okay. I must go all out just this once. Dang. All right. So, I know very, very little of how JP works, with this particular servant. If I remember correctly, she is an assassin. She has the power of Moth and Tsukihime on her side. Oh, God. Alright. Can I cheese her with the Scotty loop? I'm actually curious to see if this will actually work. Let us just see what happens. I have a very suspicious feeling that it will not work. But crazier things have happened in my time. So we shall see. Okay, oh, man. Hold on, better idea. Switch that around. Where are you? Sunzong? Monka! I don't want to spoil, but don't spoil. Let's see my pain. I have a feeling this is gonna hurt. How badly? I don't know. I'm scared. If this ends in my downfall, then so be it. When in doubt, bring Summer Nobu up the rear. Here we go. Section 12. Travelers of the Century. All right. What do we have? Someone told me the node beforehand, so I knew the trick. There's a trick to this? Okay. Wait, we're going into the battle right away? What? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Better just come ahead of time. Wait, what? What was I just given? Why was I given guts? Chat room, should I be afraid? Oh dear, I'm scared. Hey, Andrea with the 10 bits, thank you so much. Ganbatte! Oh god! Y'all are scaring me! When you get Guts 1, you know it'll be fun. Oh god. I'm actually terrified now. Shut up, Diff! Oh god, no! Oh no! Did she just charge up her NP? Oh no. Oh dear god. Oh, this is bad. Oh god. Oh, I'm screwed. Oh, she doesn't even have any of the debuffs. Shit! Oh, this was a bad idea. This was a very, very, very bad idea. Oh, God. Access for NP. Oh, God. She coming for... That's the thing. That wasn't her boy toy. Oh, no. Oh, no. She inflicts curse. Oh, my God. Oh, no. This is bad. This is very, very, very bad. Oh, God. My Scotty Samas! Edgy French boy, you have survived! Yeah, the Richard Buzz Bondo. Oh, God. Well, I am certainly in a sticky situation. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm redoing this. She does it every time. Are you shitting? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh. Okay. All right. Bunyan solo time. Oh god. I don't even think that's a possibility for me. How do I even go about this? Okay, just gotta do the switcheroo. Oh, this is not good. I don't know what I can do! Fuck! It can be soloed by anyone? The Bunyan video is nuts, though? Oh, God. That's insane. Let's see here. Yeah, this is not set in stone. This is just filter this out. Dark votes with HP recovery. Debuff resist up. Come on, get in there, please. Hercules. I haven't even begun upgrading Hercules. I have too many servants that are under leveled. I have fucked up. Good luck. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Okay. Debuff resist by 30. Lose my nudeness. What? Power of lewd will help, man. And at least you stupid autocorrect. Yeah, true. I need a Bond 10 Herc for Lostbelt 5. Oh god, y'all are making me scared. Sanzang, alright. So y'all are saying Sanzang will be helpful in this. Okay. Let's just give it a shot. Use your rainbow apples to continue. Yeah. DW, you'll be fine. Gee, thanks, DW. I feel so loved. When is my butler Mordred coming? I'm still waiting for her. Excellent. Chat room question: does her NP go through invincibility? Just curious. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Why have I not upgraded her more? Oh yeah, right. I didn't have the materials at the time. Alright, let's give this a shot! Fist of the Monkstar! I live! I have lived, chat room. Yeah, you'll definitely be fine. All right. And increase NP strength. Okay. Yay, Merlin got food! Dang. Medea would have been helpful for the party cleanse. Oh, yeah. Alright. Just in case. Double healing, Merlin. The curse. Yeah, now that I think about the curse, yeah. Fist of the Monk Star. Uh-oh. This may hurt! Well, luckily, Sanzang still had Evadon. Bless. She is a fuck-mothering vampire. Damn! Bruh! She's got 2 stacks on him. Oh, God. Ugh. I got this? I don't think I do. Ow, my gill! There goes Sun Zhang! All right, Merlin's living. You got this, see? Gil is still alive. But for how long? That's the question. How long? All right, how to go about this? How to go about this? How to go about this? Back, Chagamish! Welcome back. I will say, Sansang put in a lot of work. This is going to be rough. I might actually have to use a quartz in order to get through this. I have not used any quartz the entirety of this Lostbelt yet. This might be the moment. The power of Uruk! Don't you have Caster Shuten? I didn't level her up enough. I was still in the middle of leveling her up during all this. That hurt! There goes. Oh, there goes Gil. Nubba! Nubba! Nubba. Nobu as a Pokemon. Oh, it was a good idea to sub to you. Nubba. We are the Nobu of our Nobu. Well, this might hurt. Never underestimate the power of the Pocket Nobu. There goes Merlin. Can I get this done? Oh, man. Oh, man, chat room, can I get this done? Does it all lie on Nobu? Chat room, it all comes down to Nobu. Chat room, I better see you spamming Nobus right now. Spam the Nobus, chat room! Everybody! Atsumari! As you usually hate Nobus. The power of the Demon King of the Sixth Heaven! Come on, Nobu. Get me this. Come on! Yes! It broke! Is that it? Woo! We did it with Nobu! Yes! Get in there! Glitched it right at the end! Oh my god, I can't believe I did that. Oh my god.
Nub!
How can she attack with such power so quickly? She should have run out of magical energy ages ago. I still don't have that emote. It's showing up on my end. The Oreo, it's showing up on my end. Just letting you know. She's not using her own magical energy at all. She's sucking up the endless supply of mana from the world itself and using it as her own. So this is what a true ancestor, an incarnated elemental, can do. Never would have thought that China had one of its own. Fighting one of them is like taking on a tsunami or a hurricane with your own fists. On mine, it's just spelled out. You might have to refresh your browser. I'm sorry, that went right over my head. Could you dumb it down to, say, horse level? Damn it, red hair. Simply put, we've been quite thoroughly backed into a corner here. Oh? That's bad, right? God damn it, red hair! Then enjoy it in my stead.
Nub!
Yes, we enjoy the Nobu. That's bad, right? Oh yes, if we're all going to die anyway, might I suggest you blow yourselves up so everyone can accept me can truly go out with a bang? Bruh. Will you both just shut up already? I don't think I can keep this up any longer, Master! Enough playing around, Akuta. No. Now that you have revealed your true form, we suppose we should no longer call you by your alias. But then, you have never given us any other name. What should we call you now? You would call my wrath, my curses, merely playing around, O worldly king? What else would you call this? Did you endure eternity merely so you could curse these people to death? Undying one, true one, we have too much respect for you to see you lose your way like this. Can't wait for Shen to come to my Chaldea. Return here before you go any further. Recall the pledge you still have yet to keep, and do what must be done first. So you do not want me to do anything unless it benefits you, is that it? We are telling you to remember what it is you came here to do. Just what is the nature of the relationship between these two? A pledge? Does that mean she made some other deal with King Shi Huang I didn't know about? Those of us who endure eternally should not be so swept up in fleeting emotions. Shinobi, you must not forget what it is you truly seek. how close you are to having it in your grasp, and what you must do. Must yet do.
All right. I understand. I shall follow your advice for now.
Damn.
Akuta. I mean, Yume Ren has left the battlefield. Oh, I'm exhausted. This stuff can be such a pain. As much as I despise humans, I do have to give them credit for one thing. The weapons they make are so much easier to use. There's nothing better than something that lets you kill a bunch of humans just by pulling a trigger.
Koyanskaya, I take it you knew that Hold on. I need a drink of water. Jesus Christ. What a night. Koyanskaya, I take it you know that Akuta Hinako was actually Yume Ren all along. Is it the Song of Geisa dedicated to her? For a single target on the third wave? Dang! Ah, yes. The one frequently mentioned in discussions of the Battle of Geisa.
My strength plucked up the hills. My strength plucked up the hills. My might shadowed the world, but the times were against me, and Dapple runs no more. When Dapple runs no more, what then can I do? Ah, you, my you, what will your fate be?
I need a drink too, fair?
So, this means that Yume Ren wasn't human, and that she's also been alive for thousands of years? It was shocking enough to find out that the legendary Yume Ren was actually a bloodsucker, or rather a true ancestor.
Whoa! Hold up, guys. Hold on 1 second, chat room. Apologies. Apologies, guys. I thought I turned all that off.
But then, why would she bother infiltrating Chaldea and applying to be a race shift candidate? And if that wasn't enough, now she's a critter holed up in the Chinese Lostbelt? Ah, none of this makes any sense! True. If all you look at are the facts, the odds seem pretty long indeed. But if you trace them back to their source, the answer couldn't be simpler. This all happened because Morrisberry planned for it to happen.
As I suspected. Director Morrisberry Animusphere may have seemed like a good person, but at heart he was still a mage. We'll need a smoke after that fight. Y'all do what you need to, man.
A mage's idea of doing good and a human's idea of doing good are very, very different. Morrisberry may have been a just person, but it seems like he also managed to do good. That is his best as a mage.
Morrisberry was a freak. Damn.
I expect he must have been anxious. I imagine he had to wonder if race shifting was even possible, and if it was, whether humans could actually survive the process.
Getting freaky with history.
I'd guess that's what prompted him to bring Yume Ren on as a backup plan of sorts. No doubt he must have thought that even if it turned out humans couldn't withstand a race shift, she would either survive or could be resuscitated thanks to her sturdy true ancestor body. That must be why he covered up her true identity under the name Akuta Hinako, and sent her a formal invitation to Chaldea after she'd been hiding away in the margins of history for centuries. That would have been before the previous version of me was summoned to Chaldea. I do recall Akuta Hinako was already part of Chaldea's staff even before Team A was formed. Modesberry must have wanted to prove the viability of race shifting come hell or high water. Agreed. I imagine he meant to use her as a guinea pig to make the experiment work. Even if there turn out to be even if there turn out to be no mere humans who fit the bill whatsoever. But as luck would have it, not only did there turn out to be plenty of viable candidates, the demi-servant plan he had come up with to improve the odds of summoning a heroic spirit after the race shift worked out as well. All of which meant that Modesberry no longer needed to bother giving Akuta Hinako more special treatment.
She was ultimately assigned to Team A for no other reason than to fill the roster, so to speak.
Now do you understand? Your great director was hiding a true ancestor in his organization all this time. It's no wonder Chaldea came under UN scrutiny after something that shady. The fact that none of the surviving staff had any idea is just the ultimate ultra-ironic icing on the cake.
Due before class? Alright. Have a good night, Zeke. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you so much for the follow, and take it easy. Have a good night. Do that work, and be awesome.
Still, I'm surprised Yume-Ren agreed to all that despite being a true ancestor and all that. Oh? That's the part you find strange? Huh? Well, I don't suppose anyone with a finite lifespan could ever really understand the psychology of a truly eternal being. So I have to give Modesberry credit for being able to figure out what it was she wanted. It couldn't have been easy for him to convince her since she really, really hates humans. At the very least, I'm sure he never offered anything as cheesy as a mink coat. Huh. I'm not sure what to make of all of this since I really didn't know Modesberry all that well.
Oh, by the way, for those of you watching live in the chat room, if you haven't done so, if you want to join my Discord, go right ahead. Right there. Where you can hang out with me and all the other good people. We have a very nice community.
I'm sure Romani knew him well enough that he could weigh in with something useful, but...
F's in the chat for Romani. F's in the chat! For useless Romani. Come on. Let's get out of here. Agreed. Not... Nope. Thank you. Agreed. Now that we've made an enemy of Qin Shi Huang, lingering in one place for far too long is tantamount to suicide.
Got it. Then let's keep our camouflage-bounded field up and put some distance between us and this place.
It's almost Mothman time. That's fair, Tac Tac.
Man, it really sucks that they took the border. Now we have to carry our patient on foot.
Oh, please. No more tool. I couldn't eat another bite. Your voice acting is great. Thank you, Tac. I appreciate it. Best of luck for your gotcha.
I saw something that looked like a truck in the hangar. Maybe we could use that? You mean the thing they used when they brought me here? It may be better than walking, but we'll feel every bump of the road and then some. Well, beggars can't be choosers. We'll just have to make the best of it.
I'm assuming this is, you.
Long, long ago, this was a beautiful place. Even today, I still remember the time when there was nothing in the sky but wind and nothing on the ground but plants. This was in ages past, long before anyone even thought to lay claim to this planet. Before I was separated from the world. Before I even had form of my own. But my memories of what came after are all of fear, animosity, and a perverse kind of envy. You and I both look the same, which is why I don't understand. Why do you hate me so much? Why do you despise me so? You would attack me so viciously, all because I cannot die? I never asked for eternal life. I would have welcomed death. I would have liked nothing more than to fall into oblivion alongside my beloved. True ancestor? Bloodsucker? I don't know anything about any of those. But that doesn't stop you from deciding that's what I was. You said my inability to die made me unclean. That my inability to age made me a monster. None of you listened what I had to say. Once you decided I was a monster, you just kept treating me like one.
I understand you hate humans. I know you want nothing to do with us. But no matter how much you may wish it were otherwise, humans will never truly leave you alone. Once they learn you exist, executors will come from far and wide to hunt you down. I cannot do anything to change that fact. As such, I cannot apologize on behalf of humanity. All I can do is give you an outlet for your resentment, to keep my head bowed no matter what manner of abuse you heap upon it. It is with that in mind that I would like to make you a proposal, even if you think me shameless for doing so. If you wish to obtain peace and quiet, your only choice is to move yourself somewhere outside the bounds of human activity. Mankind has grown far too numerous. Indeed, this last century must have been a nightmare for you. They excavate mountains, chop down forests, and greedily expand their territory with no end in sight. You must have already realized that at this rate, there will no longer be any safe place left for you to hide. So, speaking as one partially responsible for this state of your affairs, I would like to offer you a deal. Oh, this is Morrisberry, isn't it? There is a small, isolated community of mages in one of the most remote places of this world. Its residents are well aware that prying into the other community members' lives is taboo. I think you would be right at home in Chaldea. As long as you play along with the false identity I will prepare for you, no one will ever be the wiser. In exchange, I would like you to assist me with my search. A quest of sorts to realize my family's greatest dream. Oh yes, I almost forgot to introduce myself. My name is Morrisberry Anemosphere. I hope you can see that our interests are aligned. Spirit of Gaia, as one of the last flowers of the moon left on Earth. I would love to have your help in making both our dreams come true. True human, Yume Ren.
I knew he was lying. He was far from the first ghoul who had tried to uncover my secrets in their own quest for immortality. And yet, by this point, I was far too tired to tear him to pieces. I wasn't sure whether he was being truthful or not, but he was right about one thing at least. I no longer have a place in this land. There is no darkness to hide me, no light I can join. There is nowhere left for me to go. Yet, even so, I can still feel the grip of his despair over my fate, coiling around my heart. Ah, you, my you, what will your fate be? That's right. I seek an end to eternity. A place where I can hold my head high and declare that I have gone as far as I can. My sole wish, my one final request, is that I may tell my dearly departed that he no longer need weep for me. Oh. She wishes to be with Zhang-Yu.
Awaken, Fairy. The time has come to return to reality. It has been 5 months since your arrival. We have now scanned your entire body, 48 times in total. Our analysis is complete. Every last one of your body's secrets has been recorded within our memory circuits. We have at last learned the secrets of the Zenren's immortality. You did well, Fairy. Or perhaps we should continue to call you Akuta Hinako.
You may call me whatever you wish. Your Imperial Majesty.
You may have anything you like as a reward. Or is he alone still enough as you initially requested?
He is. I desire nothing else.
Then, per the terms of our agreement, we hereby bequeath custody of Quasi Zero to you. You have served us faithfully for centuries, our very first mechanical retainer. Congratulations on your retirement. Thank you, Your Imperial Majesty. It is with a heavy heart that I take your leave for the last time. Zhang Yu. We do not know what sort of name our mechanical retainer may have had made for himself in your history. But was this Zhang Yu person worthy of being entrusted with your mystics, Zhenren?
I could ask the same of you, Your Imperial Majesty. Why would you need to study me now when you have all long possessed the Fusang tree itself?
True. We did learn the mystics of life through one... True. We did learn the mystics of life through our obtainment of the Fusang tree. But we never came across a single sage or fairy in all the time we spent exploring their lands. You are the first genuine fairy we have ever laid eyes on, Akuta Hinako.
I see.
At any rate, this fulfills the final part of our contract. Tell us, what will you do now?
If possible, I would like to stay in a remote part of your land and live out my days in peace.
How modest of you. But will Caldia let you do that? Hey, Juan.
The Callians have already incurred your wrath. There is no need to dirty my hands further. It is only a matter of time now before one of your valiant Mount Li warriors presents you with their heads.
Ah, yes, we see. You do not want Zhang Yu to see you getting rough, so to speak. Very well. We prefer this mild-mannered act to the true colors you displayed at Ankang anyway. However, there is one thing we must ask you before you leave our service. Is this world going to perish?
At this point, I can no longer tell which will emerge triumphant. The will of this world to survive, or the will that would see this world destroyed. All I can truthfully say is that I couldn't possibly care less.
A good answer. We now know that if nothing else, you will never oppose us.
Now then, if you'll excuse me.
She taken her man and going. She has been reunited with her beloved Zhang Yu. Is this what we call a fairy tale ending, chat room?
Maybe.
Are you sure about this, Your Imperial Majesty? I believe she still knows more about the monsters that have invaded us than she is letting on. Yes, we are sure she does. I was shaken when she said she did not care if this world lived or died, despite saying she would stay. Or stick with her. Bruh! She is a Zhenren, a true human. The only one in this world who is on par with our royal personage. Had she voiced her intent to do something along the lines of protecting the world, then our wrath would have been swift and merciless. That would indicate her desire to fight us for this world, after all this time we spent protecting it. But that is not what she said. Indeed, she showed she has no attachment to this world whatsoever. In consequence, she can coexist with us as we rule. For there can only be one human who controls the world in its entirety. Indeed, Your Imperial Majesty. It is just as you say. Having two or more humans exist inevitably leads to quarreling, so this cannot be permitted.
be permitted. As this world's only human, we shall guide the common people with our love. All they need concern themselves with is tending their land, filling their bellies, sleeping, and reproducing. What could be more peaceful? Yikes.
That was only the first part of this section. What do we got? Oh, no battles! Ryu, hit the thing. There we go. More story!
You've got her hands tied behind her back? Good! Make sure that wire is nice and tight. And don't forget the shackles!
Oh my god, have we actually tied her up?
Foe! Foe! For once we are on the same page, Gordy. Foe!
Yes!
Oh, come on. Is this really necessary? May I remind you, I just helped save your lives back there. I can't believe a little glucose drip is all it took to get Gordy up and running again. Really goes to show what a unique person Mr. Gordolf is, doesn't it, Senpai? Foe! Foe! Foe!
Yes! Smack her, foe! Beat her! Get your revenge! I see foes using Koyanskaya's head as a dance floor. Foe's really gonna... Foe's really going to town on Koyanskaya's head. That a boy, foe!
Foe! Foe! Foe! Foe! Foe! Foe! Foe! Foe!
Whap, whap, whap. Huh, I understand how you feel all too well, Tiny. In fact, I can no longer restrain myself either.
I don't like where this is going.
Accursed wench! Now you're wearing a Chinese dress of all things! Your wiles won't work on me, Koyanskaya. You won't fool me ever again. Now what shall I do with you?
Oh, God. Smack her head, foe. Get your revenge, foe! Go, Kathaloog! Gordolf, you better not be thinking what I think you're thinking.
Oh no! I can't believe I'm being captured by such a brute! Whatever will become of me now?
Gordolf, if you fall for this, I swear, we're gonna have some trouble.
He must have such atrocities in mind as to put Qinshi Huang's punishment to shame! A veritable assortment of torture the likes of which has never been witnessed in all of human history!
Considering what Qinshi Huang did to you, stop trying to do this, Koyanskaya. Just stop.
No doubt he's going to carnally humiliate me in unspeakable ways after keeping me caged like a wild animal. Oh, I'm so scared.
Gordolf, just give it up.
Smorgasbord, carnally humiliate? What? I mean, yes, I'm ruthless, but I never go that far.
She'd like that, though. Eh.
Foe, 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 foe. Don't listen to her. She's just trying to pretend to be the sub. In fact, she wants to be the dom. All right, that's enough of that. Remember, you and Ryuzaki's lives are still on the line here, Gordy.
Oh, yes, that's right. Where is the antidote for the poison you used on me and Ryuzaki? The one you promised to hand over in exchange for our help. I'll even spare you the shackles. Go on, then, produce the antidote from that bountiful bosom of yours.
Gordolf, go in the corner. Go in the corner, Gordolf!
But I'm the director.
I don't give a damn if you're the director. Go in the corner!
But there are no corners around here.
Go in the corner. Now.
Okay. Don't think I don't know you know how sexy your cleavage looks in that Chinese dress. Now hand over the antidote and make the hopes and dreams of every red-blooded male come true.
Corner! Now, Gordolf! I guess Gordy and Yusei are the same. You're just now noticing this war?
Of course I'll keep my end of the bargain. Here you go.
Antidote!
Just one bottle? That's it? That's right. A single dose is all I have. And do be warned, sharing it between you will just make it useless. What are you trying to pull? Fo-fo! Oh, come on now, think about it. Would I really go to the trouble of preparing an antidote when the whole point of the poison was to kill my target? I just brought along a single dose for insurance in case I ended up taking the poison myself by mistake. That's the one and only contingency I prepared for. And now, as I promised, I've handed over that single dose of contingency antidote to all of you.
Well, you know what? At least she's efficient.
Whatever happens next is out of my hands. I wonder which one will get to take it. His Excellency the Great Gordov, or Kalia's one and only master. And just so you know, Ryuzaki, you don't have much time left either. You might not be feeling too bad thanks to Mosh's protection, but make no mistake, the poison is doing its job. Shan Su Sui Ming Mai dries you out from the inside. You only have a few days to live at best.
I had a feeling that might be the case.
Senpai. As much as it sucks, I think we have to put our personal feelings aside in favor of the larger picture. Ryuzaki, I suggest we...
What the?
Gordov?
Ryuzaki, I challenge you to a game of rock, paper, scissors!
I'm sorry, what? You want to settle the fate of our lives on a game of Rochambeau? Gordov! Gordov! This is not Break the Record 2015 for Smash Brothers! This is not a rock, paper, scissors tournament that we are deciding here! Bruh! Huh?
Only one of us will go on living.
Just flip a coin for it? We don't have a coin!
That means this is a clash between our wills to survive. And when the stakes are this high, rock, paper, scissors is the only true impartial judge.
Damn.
Well, normally I would prefer a coin toss, but that would give me an unfair advantage, so rock, paper, scissors it is.
Well, you know what? At least he's being honest.
Mr. Gordov, are you really sure you want to settle this like that?
It's all right, Mosh. If they are content to make a decision this way, it is not our place to interfere.
Just you, me, and whatever hand we choose to play. A fair fight if ever there was one. What do you say, young man?
So, this is our personal judgment day, huh?
Very well. I'm glad you're being such a good sport about this. Win or lose, no hard feelings, okay?
That includes having one of your servants take it by force and other... That includes having one of your servants take it by force and other unbecoming chicanery.
Oh.
All right, let's do this. Rock, paper...
No. You can't. You can't be serious. We're giving him the antidote? Ah! Damn it. Fine. But as we all know, rock is the Marth of rock, paper, scissors. We must always go with the Marth! No, wait. Scissors would be the Marth. Rock would be the Fox McCloud. But if I choose rock, then it's 20XX. Just choose Ryu. Okay. I'm gonna use scissors.
Are you mad? You're supposed to use paper here!
Damn you, plot armor.
I said I would use rock, so I was sure you would use paper in response! All I had to do then was use scissors, and this would all be over! Can't you see that?
Gordy, that's not really the issue here. Also, Ryuzaki, I think we need to have a little talk later. Were you trying to lose on purpose?
Whether he was or not, Mr. Gordolf made this challenge for this particular duel. Tell us, Mr. Gordolf, what were you thinking when you used scissors after declaring you would use rock?
What was I thinking? I was thinking I'd do whatever it takes to survive! That's what I was thinking! Go ahead and call me whatever you want. Smart, wise, dependable. I'll take any criticism you throw at me. But I don't want to die!
Good grief. Hey, Ryuzaki. It's been a good show and all, but I think it's time we got this over with, don't you?
Yep, go for it.
What? Hey, what's the meaning of this full Nelson, Shinkai?
Okay, Gordy, open wide.
You hate that medicines.
Well, that was nasty.
Got that down the hatch. Drink it like it's your favorite brand of wine.
There you go, down the hatch.
Are you nuts? Why did you make me swallow it? That was the only antidote we had. Now what are you going to do?
Well, I couldn't just let you die. After all, I wouldn't even be here now if not for you.
That's right. You only survived because Director Gordolf ate half of that cake. If you had eaten the whole thing, you would have died on the spot.
The director never said a word about that, so... Indeed. Whatever the circumstances may have been, the end result is that Gordolf saved Ryuzaki's life. And despite being well aware of that, he has not so much as mentioned it all this time. No doubt he decided it would be unfair to hold that over Mr. Ryuzaki's head, given how he was about to head off into battle.
Well, I don't know if I'd quite put it that way.
Oh, this song is so good. So now, we're even. Seems too OP.
You fool. How do you get off being so decent even at such a young age?
But very well. This is of course merely a matter of priorities. There can be no team without its leader. Now that I'm fully back in action, all our further plans are guaranteed to succeed. Right.
What a joke. How utterly revolting. Maybe I'll just gobble you up from the head down.
Oh my. Oh, it seems we have a lady here who can't quite contain her murderous rage.
Who, me? Why, don't be silly. This has all been a hugely entertaining farce.
This is my OTP, bro. Hey, Doom, how you doing? We doing good.
There's nothing quite like humans, is there? I'm so touched, I feel as though my heart might just burst. Fo! Quit being a thoughtful!
Huh. I'm afraid you have been grossly underestimated us if you thought this little performance of yours would hide the truth. That medicine you handed over is not the only means of neutralizing the poison, is it?
Oh? And on what are you basing that oh so hopeful assertion, may I ask?
That you chose to come to this particular Lostbelt in the first place. You made sure to wait until the time was ripe before you went about poisoning Mr. Ryuzaki. Were your poison truly incurable, you would need only to flee once the deed was done. As long as you had managed to cover your tracks, you could escape without leaving a trace. And yet, by the time we had arrived in this Lostbelt, you were already here. Now, why would you do something so foolish? The answer is simple, because there is something in this Lostbelt you needed to keep away from us. And what else could that be but a way to cure the poison you used?
I can't stand men who have nothing more to offer than their minds. I imagine you must have heard that from Irene. I imagine you must have heard that from Irena Adler a lot too, didn't you?
Elena Adler. Love it. Scandal in Bohemia. Love that story. I'll thank you not to draw comparisons between her and an agent of pure evil such as yourself.
Fool! Fool.
Now then, as we can be sure that Miss Koyanskaya's purpose in coming here was to protect it, we must simply ask ourselves what this cure might be. It would have to be something already lost in proper human history, as well as something unattainable in any other Lostbelt, which leaves.
Ah, the Fusang tree!
Quite so. Though there are many things unique to this Lostbelt, the Fusang tree is the only thing I can think of that would be impossible to obtain elsewhere. As the key to the Sage World's mystics, we know that it has no end of biochemical applications, as Qin Shi Huang has so aptly demonstrated. I see no other magecraft system that could be possibly used to refine such a strange and complex poison.
Well, I suppose there's no point in playing dumb any longer. Yes, you're right, that poison was derived from the Fusang tree. The substance made by distilling its roots with yin energy is called Zhan Sui Ming Mai, or immortal decline.
Hold on one second, chat room. I forgot to change it to single way. That's why I could hear my reflection all the time. Sorry.
And the one made by decorating its leaves with yang energy is called Zhan Huao Ming Mai, or immortal lifeline. Either way, whether you're making poison or antidote, you need something from the Fusang tree. Of course, you could always make an antidote without the Fusang tree as long as you could extract something with the same components.
Was Foe dancing on Koyanskaya's head earlier? Yes, he was, Juan.
But we all know proper human history lost those kinds of mystics long ago, don't we? Which means the antidote I had on me was your one and only hope. Given that I held Ryuzaki's life in my hands, I did consider making him my slave and forcing him to do my bidding.
I'd rather die.
But I couldn't get Akuta's report out of my head. If only I had never heard her mention there was a Lostbelt, where the Fusang tree remained alive and in human custody.
So once you knew, you felt you had no choice but to go and guard it. You must be quite the worrywart yourself.
I prefer to think of it as knowing where to hedge my bets.
Whatever you choose to call it, your instincts helped us not out considerably for once. Once we obtain the Fusang tree for ourselves, we can cure Mr. Ryuzaki's poison, correct?
Theoretically, yes. But to actually do that, you'd have to make your way into Zhanyang, where the Emperor is. And you'd have to be insane to do that, wouldn't you? Hey, we're going to have to face off with Qin Shi Huang eventually, especially now that the Emperor is trying to wipe us out for being Confucians. Besides, we can't leave this Lostbelt until we find the Tree of Emptiness and chop it down.
The hidden Tree of Emptiness. Well, I suppose it all boils down to the same thing. At any rate, curing Mr. Ryuzaki's poisoning remains our top priority. Can I assume our next destination to be Zhanyang then, Director?
Yes, of course. After all, we do need to get our hands on that antidote at all costs. As Kaldea's director, I'm personally responsible for the lives of my staff, and that includes Ryuzaki.
You go. You go, Gordy. You go. You got Joker. Hey.
I certainly can't afford to go around dying first.
Well said, Director.
Fo-fo!
Don't you worry, my boy. We'll find a way to save you. You just see if we don't. You hang in there and focus on defeating Qin Shi Huang.
I'm so relieved. I know we're not out of the woods yet, but at least this takes care of one big problem.
Yeah.
It's great to finally see Director Gordov back to his old self again, isn't it, Senpai?
Update data! better have completed that section. Game. There we go. Right in at the login time.
Excellent, excellent.
Are you kidding me? I have to do that entire thing all over again. The first Emperor Oh! So basically you got Mothman. No, wait. Would that be Mothman? Yeah. Alright, I'm just fast forwarding through all this just to make sure. Well done, War. I'm proud of you, my boy. Sorry, I'm just fast forwarding on this just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Okay, that's all it was. Alright, good. Had to be sure. Just had to be sure. Alright, for those of you watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching this portion, this section of FGO. Ryu plays FGO Lostbelt 3. Until next time, guys, I'm Ryu. You guys are the awesome people, and I'll check you out later. Have a good one.